Okay, hi, my name is Tom Murrin. I'm also called Alien Comic, and I've been doing performance for a number of years. I started in the mid-70s in Seattle with a group called Paratroop, and we started doing shows and performances around the neighborhood. We painted our faces, did balloons, did anything we felt like doing. And I did a lot of traveling with some of those people. And Johanna Went and I went on and traveled around the United States. And in the late 70s, I went off on my own and went around the world, starting in Tokyo, and then just went around back to New York from there. And I would do performances every day in different countries. And that's where I learned on the street a lot about performing as a solo performer. I would set my stuff up, do a different show every day, and use the things that I found objects or trash or whatever I could use, masks that I would make or find, or things that were part of the community that I was in, whether it was Tokyo or Calcutta or Greece, wherever it happened to be. And when I got back to New York in 1979, it was 79, my friend Bill Hart had the Razor Art Gallery on West Broadway, and he let me stay there, and I used to do shows in front of the gallery, and I would find things in that wonderful Soho area at that time that where all the artists were then, and use those in my shows. And so I got the nickname Tom Trash because I was using trash and found objects for my props and making up a different show every time. Then Jane Friedman, who I knew before, who was managing John Cale at the time, had some shows coming up in the CBGB's, and she thought I could open up for him when he did his end of the year shows. And so I did. So I started performing in clubs like CB's and Pyramid and Max's Kansas City and places like that. And I went on tour with Cale, and I was doing a show in San Francisco, and Jane never did like Tom Trash as my name. I would come out. It was a punk rock time then in 1979, and so I'd have to do a quick 10-minute show, put all my props down, do it real fast, get out of there, and then the band would come on. And people wanted to see the band, so I'd have to do something really kind of outlandish to keep them off me, especially at CB's. But that was fun, really, because I would end up stabbing myself, and a lot of spaghetti would come out, or I'd do something that was outrageous at the time. And then, but when I was doing this show in San Francisco, and Jane was trying to describe my act as the opening act to the band at the Waldorf, where Cale was performing, she said he's a comic, and he says, oh, we have comics all the time here. Don't worry about that. It'll be fine if he opens up for a band. And she says, well, his act's a little different. So she started describing my act to this guy, which was a real quick change, crazy, transgressive act. And he said, ooh, he said, that sounds a little alien to us out here. And she said, that's it. Call him the Alien Comic. She never liked Tom Trash. So I've been Alien Comic ever since. And I've been performing in New York and around the States at different venues ever since, too. At La Mama, which is a theater, at PS 122, which is a performance space. 8BC was a great space over on 8th Street between B and C in the 80s. During the 80s, which were kind of the golden age of performance art, when a lot of us were performing, like Karen Finley and Paul Zaloom and a whole number of people, Dance Noise, Joe Andres, Mimi Gazy. People were doing shows all over the Lower East Side at that time, and so I was as well. And then later in the 90s, and now here we are in 2000. I'm still doing shows and still trying to put my act on and get off quickly. I've got a couple of things. My first thing is October 29th at La Mama La Galleria, which is right around the corner from CBGB's on 6 East 1st Street. I'm having a 3-week showing of my masks. I had a showing of my masks in 2006 out of Track 16 Gallery in Santa Monica, California. And that was like a retrospective because I made these masks out of cardboard, almost always out of cardboard, and acrylic paints in all the way since I've been in New York. And I would find stuff to use as props and make these masks of faces or people or animals or whatever I felt like. And because in my show I change real quickly, I'll put a mask on and I'll say something and I'll dump it and then put another one on, and maybe I'll have a prop, and maybe I'll have a costume, a mask, and a prop, which are the three basic things I have for my visual, and then I change it real quickly and then keep talking at the same time. That's what most of my shows are. They're like a show and tell, where I'm talking about the political scene of the day, I'm talking about the weather, I'm talking about a dream I had, I'm talking about breaking up with a girlfriend, I'm talking about whatever I feel like talking about, but I'm making the show and the props and the visuals fit along with it in some way, and then changing the visual as fast as I can, which is just the way when I was on the street, that's what I learned to do. You're going to do a street show, you want to get out there, you want to put it down, you want to do it, you want to get a crowd, you want to pass the hat and get paid, and then get out of there before the cops or someone else says, you know, you've been here too long or you got to get out of here. So I learned to do these things fast, and I like that fast change. So I'm having a show of my masks the end of this month, and then right after that I'm doing one show at the New Dixon Place with Little Theater November 3rd, which is Little Theater is a monthly variety show, and I've done shows with them before. That's the night before the election, November 3rd. So the title of my show is Time to Clean House. That's what they wanted to know, what the title was for the card. So it says Time to Clean House, folks. Let's get these other guys out of here and get a new crew in. And then after that, I'm doing a new kind of show, which I've never done before, which is a little scary, but it's time to do something that's different. And it's going to be a month at the Bowery Poetry Club. 4 Friday afternoons or evenings or something, early evenings. It's going to be called Alien Comic Au Naturel, and that means I'm going to do a show without masks, without props, without costumes, just me talking. So Lucy Sexton, the director, is helping me with that, and we're going to try and figure out me doing a show which will basically be telling stories of my history or whatever. We haven't worked it all out yet. So having gotten used to over the years having a ton of stuff each show, I'll have to find out what it's like not having any of those things to help me.